Welcome students, welcome to the lecture number 1 of chapter computer networks. Okay, so before initiating this topic, we have to first understand that what is basically a computer network, right? Suppose we have two computers with us, right? And suppose we name these computers. Let this is the computer number A and this is the computer number B. Okay, right. Suppose this A system contains some data and this B system also contains some data. And suppose if I am sitting in system A and I want some data which is right now present in system B, then what I have to do? I will bring some storage device like pen drive and then come to this system and then copy my data in the pen drive and then again come back to my system. Okay, so obviously this I have to do. And suppose if the A system is basically having a printer with it. Okay, suppose this suppose this is a printer. Okay, and that printer is basically connected to my system. And suppose the person who is sitting in system number B, he wants to take the printout of a particular file. Then what will he do? He basically copies that file in a pen drive or any other storage medium and then bring that storage medium and connect it to this device and then take the printout of that file. Okay, so you can see that if any one of them want the data of some other system, then obviously he have to go to that system, copy that data in his storage medium and then bring back and then come back to his seat. And suppose if any user want to access the resource of any other system, like the person who is sitting in system number B wants to take the printout of some file, then what he want to do? Then he has to basically the copy in the pen drive and then bring that pen drive in this system and take the printout. Okay, but suppose if we connect both of these systems with a wire. Okay, so for solving this problem, we basically bring a network cable from the market and connect both of these systems together with this network cable. So once this network cable is set up between these two cables, these two systems, or we can say that when these two systems are connected to each other with the help of this network cable, then what will happen? Both the data can be easily shared between the two computers. And similarly, the person who is sitting at system B, he don't have to come to this device to give the printout. He simply give the print command from his system and the print file will move to that system through this cable and the printout will come from this printer. Okay, so this is basically the best benefit of the computer networks, that with the help of the computer networks we can connect multiple systems together so that they can share their data as well as share their resources with each other. Okay, so first is the question is that what is basically a network? So computer network is a collection of two or more computers. Okay, so when there are two or more than two computers, then only the computer network concept comes in. Okay, so a computer network is a collection of two or more computers linked together for the purpose of sharing information and resources. As you have seen in the previous example, that when we connect both the system with the help of the network cable, then after the connection both the systems can share the data which is present in their systems with each other, and also both the systems can also share the resources with each other. So that is the main benefit of establishing the network between multiple computers. Okay, so when these computers are joined in a network, so people can share files. Okay, peripherals like devices which are connected with the system, such as modem, printers. I have given you the example of printer, some backup devices or CD-ROM drives. Okay, so they can share their data and as well as they can share their peripheral devices that is connected with the system. Okay, so this is the basic purpose of a network. So network, what is basically a network? It is just a collection of two or more computers linked together for the purpose of sharing information as well as the resources. Okay, so each computer on a network is called node. So when we are talking in technical terms, okay, so when we are talking in technical terms, then the computers which are connected in the network, we call each computer as a node, right? So in technical terminology, in a network, each computer is called as a node. Okay, then let me give you some more explanation about the why we use this network. Okay, we have set up a network, connect the multiple systems with network cable, right? And what are the benefits that we are getting with by establishing the network? Okay, the first is sharing of files and software. Okay, a network enable user to share data files with each other. So a network enable user can share data files with each other if they are connected in a network. Okay, for example, suppose different departments of an organization may be separated physically. Okay, suppose there is a company who has different department like sales department, marketing department, finance department, many departments in it. Okay, so suppose the department office may be physically separated from each other, but being at a distance places, but their data could be stored on a central computer which can be accessed by computers located in different departments. Okay, in this way latest data can be made available at all times to all users. Okay, let me tell you an example, that suppose you have an account with the Axis Bank of Rajouri Garden. Okay, and suppose you went to Gurgaon and from there you collected some payment, right? And now there is one way that you bring the payment from Gurgaon to Rajouri and then deposit the payment at the Rajouri Bank. Okay, but suppose if you know any Axis Bank branch at the Gurgaon, then in spite of coming back to Rajouri Garden branch, you can simply deposit your amount in the Gurgaon branch also. Okay, and when you deposit the amount in the Gurgaon branch, then the amount will be updated in your account only. Okay, so what does it mean? It means whether the Rajouri Garden Axis Bank branch and Gurgaon Axis Bank branch are located far apart from each other, but all the data of the customer are stored in basically a centralized system, right? So when Gurgaon branch officer deposit money in your account, then the information will stored at the central place. Okay, so when the information is stored at the central place, then each and every branch of the Axis Bank if they try to fetch that data, they will only get the updated data. Okay, so that's why it is written, when different branch departments of an organization may be separated physically, being at a distance place, but their data could be stored on a central computer. Okay, so all the Axis Bank customer data is stored in the central computer of the Axis Bank. Okay, so that's why it doesn't matter whether your account is in Rajouri Garden branch or in Gurgaon branch, you can deposit your amount in any of the Axis Bank branch. Okay, and you know that there is an example, one more example, like ATM machine. Okay, so if you have a account in Axis Bank at Rajouri Garden branch, then it is not necessary that you can withdraw money from your debit card only from the Axis Bank branch of the Rajouri Garden. No, you can take the money from any of the branch of the Axis Bank present anywhere in the country. Okay, so that why this happens, because just of network. Okay, so the next point is that files and folders can be backed up at the local or remote shares. Okay, suppose there is one more benefit of the network is that suppose there is a Axis Bank central computer, or we can say that Axis Bank server computer. Okay, all the transactions of every branch is finally get stored at the Axis Bank main server central computer. Okay, so along when the data gets stored at the central computer, along with that the same data is also backed up at some other location also. Okay, whenever a transaction information stored at the central computer of the Axis Bank, same time the information is also get stored in some other machine which is located at some other place. So why this has happened? Suppose if the central computer get corrupted, or suppose in any manner we basically the system get corrupted, okay, then the bank will fetch the data from the system where the backup is maintained. Okay, so how this automatic backup is done? Whenever an entry is stored in the central computer, automatically that entry also gets stored at the backup computer. So how this is done? This is done because of the network. Okay, so it means the central computer and the backup computer are also connected with each other through a network. So that's why when a data is stored at the central computer, that data also gets stored at the backup computer. Okay, and one more important thing, that software can be installed centrally rather than one each machine, which proves to be much cheaper than buying license for every machine. Let me explain you this point. Okay, suppose there is a person who wants to set up the office, who wants to set up a computer institute. Okay, so he has taken the franchisee of a center. Suppose he has taken the franchisee of the institute, that NIIT. I think you have heard about the name of NIIT. Okay, suppose he spent 10 lakhs to take the franchisee of this NIIT center. Okay, now there is some requirement of the NIIT center that you should have a network labs of at least 50 computers with you. Okay, so what the owner of this company has done, he purchased a building for it and set up suppose 3 labs, lab 1, lab 2, okay, and lab 3. Okay, he set up a lab 1, 3 and lab 2. Okay, so basically he set up 3 labs in his institute, and in the first lab 20 systems are set. In the lab number 2 again 20 systems are set, but in lab number 3 there are 10 systems. Okay, so total 50 systems are required. So he made it 3 labs in his institute and set 20 and 10 computers in each of the lab. Okay, now once he established the lab, now as he has taken the franchisee of NIT and he is a private limited company, so the Microsoft Windows officer came to him and told him that okay, as you are a private limited company, so you can't you have to install the Windows original software. Okay, so if you don't install the Windows original software like Windows 10 in all of your machine, then we can file a piracy case in your institute. Okay, that you are not using the original software, you are using the pirated softwares. Okay, so he is very tensed because he has opened the new center, and as soon as he opened the new center, then the Microsoft company personnel came to him and give this information to him that he has to install original Windows software in each of the machine. Okay, so at last he agrees that okay, I will purchase original software for each of the machine. Then he asked what will be the cost of one software. The person told him that the cost of one single Windows 10 operating system is basically 10,000. Okay, so he has to purchase this one for how many systems? He has to purchase it for 50 systems. Okay, so straight away you can see that he has to spend an amount of 5 lakhs for purchasing the original Windows software for each of the system. Suppose he has spent that 5 lakh also and purchased the original software for each of the system. After Windows installation, then again Microsoft company person come and tell him that are you teaching MS Office software to your students also? The person says, yes, we are also teaching MS Office software to my student also. So he told me, okay, then you have to purchase the original software of MS Office also. So if you don't purchase the original software of MS Office, then obviously our company will file a piracy case against you. Then okay, he says, okay, no problem. What will be the cost of original MS Office software? So the person told him that, okay, the cost of original MS Office software will be 5,000. Okay, so he says, okay, I have to purchase it for 50 systems. So just bring me the 50 copies of the original MS Office software. So over here he also spent 2.5 lakhs. Okay, so in this way he spent 7.5 lakhs just to install the original operating system and as well as some original MS Office software. And now this institute has to teach students some other software also, and suppose he estimated a complete original software package, whatever he want to teach in his institute, he found that each machine requires original software of around, suppose 1 lakh. Okay, so when he calculated that, each machine has the cost of all the softwares, all the original software for each of the machine is around 1 lakh, and if he purchased these original software for all his 50 machines, then what he has to do? He has to pay around 50 lakhs for all the machines. So you can see that how much is the cost. It is very high cost. So how he can resolve it? So suppose a network person come to him and give him an idea that do one thing, just install a server machine in your institute. He says, okay, I make a separate server room in my institute, and in that server room I will set a separate server machine. Okay, so what he has done, he has created a separate server room in his institute, and in that server room he set a server machine. Okay, suppose the cost of that server machine is around 1 lakh. Okay, so he has spent 1 lakh for this server machine, and then the network personnel told him that purchase one single copy of each and every original software which you require. So as I told you that the original copies of all the software required by the institute for a single machine cost around 1 lakh. So he purchased all the copies, single copy of each and every software which cost around 1 lakh. Okay, so the total cost he spent in the server and purchasing the software is around 2 lakhs. Okay, now the server is ready. Now what will happen? The network person will connect all these 10 computers with the server machine, all these 20 computers with the server machine, and all these 20 computers with the server machine. Okay, so with the help of this server machine, each and every computer of the institute can access the copy of the software from this server machine. Okay, so you can see that if we implement this concept, then he just wants a single copy of each original software in the server, and when he connect all the computers present in different labs with the server through network, then what will happen? Each and every system can access the software which is present in the server. So a single copy of the software is required, and that copy will be shared by every computer. So in this way he can reduce a lot of his expense, right? So I hope you understand that what I want to tell you about in this example, that software can be installed centrally. So you can see that all those softwares are installed at the server computer rather than on each machine. Okay, which proves to be much cheaper, and then buying license for every machine. As I told you that if you buy all the original software for each and every machine, then he has to pay around 50 lakhs. Okay, but if he purchase a server and install a single copy of every original software in that server, then he has to pay just 1 lakh for the server and 1 lakh for the original software. That is only 2 lakhs. Okay, and a little bit expense for establishing the network. So once the network is connected and all the system of every lab is connected with the server computer, then all the systems can access the original copies of that system, and that is legal. So in this case you can see that by establishing the network the person can store a lot of amount. Okay, so this one is the first need for the network, right? So we are just stopping the lecture right now. Okay, so you have to prepare notes of all these network topics. Okay, so that's all for today. In the next class we will see some more benefits of using the networks. So thank you very much and have a nice day.